Hello ladies and gentlemen, my name is Mangs, and today I welcome you guys to a very unique concept. For the first time on my channel, you guys will get to see me play another player in Advanced Wars. I am actually playing against MrEntinen, who is up in this corner right here. And let me just explain to you guys how we managed to get this to work. So, in this game you will only see things from my perspective, and you won't be hearing MrEntinen's commentary, it's just gonna be me. Basically what we're doing is something that I'm really surprised I didn't think of earlier. We are just sending a save game back and forth between us on Skype. So I play a turn, I save the game, I send the save game to him, he loads it, he plays a turn, he sends it back to me. It's genius! I don't know why I didn't think of this sooner. You don't need like a multiplayer emulator or anything. You can just, send a save game back and forth. So we're playing on this map right here, called Loop Road. It's actually a 4-player map, but what we did was we just yielded with the two AIs right here. So that actually turns this map into a rather cool 2-player map. This is something that I've done with my friends before. And we are both playing as Adder. Because we wanted it to be fair and square. We both really like Adder as a CO, so we decided that was the best course of action. So you'll be getting live commentary from me right here. I am just going to be doing my turns and sending my save game back and forth. And as I said, you will only get to see this game from my perspective, but you will be getting live commentary as I play this game against MrEntinen. So we will be playing with a 21-day limit. You might be wondering, why am I doing 21 days and not 20? It's because on the first day, you're literally just creating infantry. So there's not really anything interesting to do right here. So now I'm going to send this save game over to MrEntinen, and I'll be back in a moment. Alright, day 2. So, MrEntinen accidentally pressed on my screen, so it jumped right into my right into my player face, but it doesn't really matter because it's not like he saw anything important. So, on this map, you definitely want to contest these two bases as quickly as you can. Of course, I will probably be getting this base, while MrEntinen will probably be getting this base, and of course there's two bases here that I also really want. It's very tricky to take this base once it has been held by the player, because this forest makes it really hard to send your units into attack. He can like place an artillery or rocket here, and he completely locks down this choke point right here. You can send some mechs across the mountain though. There are no air units on this map, so you have to be like the ground units will basically control this battle. You can't use battlecopters or transports, but that kind of makes this map a little bit more interesting if you ask me. So I'm going to send an infantry to capture this base right here, and I'm actually going to build an APC. Now, newer players will probably load this infantry into the APC. That's a big mistake. I can just load the next infantry that I build into the APC instead. And I like to build a mech on this turn because you got 3,000 gold. And the mech is a little bit more powerful in the middle, can deal with some recons and some tanks that you might encounter there. So the goal is to send this mech up and try to take one of these two bases. Whoever controls the middle usually ends up winning. So yeah, let's pass it over to MrEntinen. Alright, so day 3 rolls in, and I am going to just be sending this mech up. I'm not going to be unloading it. Next turn, I should be able to drop it off either here or here. I'm not decided yet if I want to go for this base or this base. I should ideally be running into MrEntinen on the next day. He will... I'm not sure what kind of opener he went for, if he went for an APC opener or maybe a fast recon. Speaking of a fast recon, I definitely want to get a recon out. Recons are so valuable in Fog of War. They have 5 vision. Meanwhile, this guy is going to go down here, and in 2 turns, he'll be able to start capturing the space. Meanwhile, this guy will actually just continue walking until I manage to get him to this space right here. I wish I could afford a second APC, but that is just not possible. So, let's end the turn and pass it over to MrEntinen. Alright. Day 4, and now I'm very excited to see if MrEntinen actually has someone in the middle here. So I'm going to be loading off my mech right here on top of the base. Now you can drop it off here, but I prefer loading it off here because then it has 3 extra defense if it gets attacked. Can't see anyone around here, might be an infantry here for all I know, but we don't know about that. So I'm going to send my recon up for scouting. Can't see anything just yet. Let's just send this guy over here to capture the bases. Now, I need to think about what I want to do with this guy. I think I'm actually going to send him north because there's multiple bases to take over here. A lot of properties here that I definitely want to get my hands on. And now I gotta think. So, do I build another recon for scouting purposes, or do I save up for something bigger? I think I'm going to save up for something bigger. So I'm just going to be building 2 infantry. That is going to leave me with 8,000 next turn, which will allow me to build a tank and an infantry. And I think that's definitely a solid strategy. Alright, day 5 rolls in, and that's bad. That is actually a game-breaking mistake that I just did there. I did not expect MrEntinen to have a recon out so soon, but I should have, because I know that my recon was able to do this. So He just interrupted my cap. There really is no point in me trying to capture right now, because he will kill my mech with the combined firepower of the recon and his infantry. So I think what I'm actually going to do here is I'm just going to kill it. So the question is right now, does MrEntinen have a tank or a mech in range here? What I can do actually is I can use my APC to scout whatever he has. But if I'm doing that, I will also sacrifice the APC. So the question is, do I want the intel that this APC will give me? Do I want to scout out whatever MrEntinen has coming towards me? Or do I want to use this APC to ferry another infantry into the center? And I think I'm more interested in saving the APC. So I'm going to do this. However, this recon... Now, I'm pretty sure MrEntinen has something on this base, so I'm not even going to move over it. I'm just going to be attacking this infantry. Actually, I was mistaken, and look at that. He has a mech in the mountains, but it's out of range of my recon, so this is a pretty good move for me. I have pretty much taken the control of the middle. Now, MrEntinen might have a tank here. Actually, no, he does not have a tank here, because... And the reason why I know that is because I just got my first tank right now. And even if MrEntinen got his tank on this turn, there's no way he has it out here already. So I'm actually completely safe in this regard. I was completely blowing that out of proportions, so I'm pretty happy about that move. And of course, I'm going to be building an infantry of my own. And going up to take this base right here. So it looks like MrEntinen might be moving to take this base. I don't know why he has this mech here. He might have loaded it up with an APC. It's difficult to tell really, but... it's going to be tricky for me to get this base, but I'm pretty confident I may have won the fight in the middle. So yeah, let's pass it over. Okay, day 6. So, MrEntinen has fired out another infantry to try and take this base, and he also attacked my mech with his infantry for whatever reason. This mech is pretty much useless right now. I don't think I want to even capture with it, if I'm going to be completely honest. But what I am going to do is I want to attack this infantry, but at the same time there's a because if MrEntinen built a tank right now, this is how we got to think about it. Then the tank will be in this position right here. Now my tank has 6 move, same as the APC, which means that he will be able to attack the base. So his tank will have a reach of this base right here. So if I move my recon in and attack his infantry, there's a very good chance he has a tank right here that will move in and crush my recon. And that's going to be a very bad trade for me, personally. Because a recon for a tank is, or essentially 5 hit points of a recon for 5 hit points of an infantry. That's a bad trade. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to kill this unit, because this mech really can't do much at this point. And then I'm actually going to pull my recon back. I'm going to pull my recon back and use it. I can put it in the forests so that it can come out and attack another day. Meanwhile, I'm going to send my... I'm going to load off my infantry. I'm going to put it on the city where it's safe. And I'm going to attempt to either capture this base or interrupt the base being captured from this infantry next turn. That's what I'm going to do. And while also moving my tank into the center. Advanced Wars is really a fight about the center. You always want to try to go for the center whenever you can, because the center is usually where most of the properties are located. Okay, I am sending a lot of infantry north though, but that's just because there's a lot of bases here to capture. Now, I think I actually want another recon. Having 2 recons is usually pretty good. I mean, recons, you want to try to keep your recons alive as well, because having vision is essential. So only attack with your recons to interrupt caps, but don't do it at the expense of the recons themselves. Alright, let's end the turn. Okay, so day 7. MrEntinen, as I predicted, he went in to try and take this base. We cannot let him take this base. That much is pretty obvious. But here's the thing. I have a recon in position right here, and we know that MrEntinen will probably attempt to take these bases. And I also know that he probably only has infantry up here. So if I'm smart right now, I can attempt to send my recon over here to interrupt some of his caps. However, I don't want to get spotted, so I'm actually going to creep along in this forest right here. And as you can see, there's some infantry right here. If he tries to take this base on the next turn, which he might do, I can charge out from the woods. I can kill his infantry. And I can really, be a thorn in the side, because this recon can just shut down this area right here. So that forces MrEntinen to either send a tank down south or a mech to deal with me. And the mechs are slow, so he's probably going to send a tank down. That's one less tank in the center that I have to deal with. So I've used the recon, essentially, to draw a tank. And that's how you want to think when you play Advanced Wars. However, I just fucked up here, because moving this infantry away, or moving the recon away, made me lose vision of the capture. Luckily, I do have a tank, so this is not really a big deal. But I do want to think about how I place the tank, because I don't want MrEntinen's tank to get the first shot on me. that is personally going to be really bad for me. Now, I could attack from the road, but I think I'd rather attack from the plane because I have 1 extra defense. But I can also use this mech to further damage the infantry, and then I'm going to place my APC right here, because if MrEntinen has a tank right here, I want to block him from getting the first strike on my tank. Anyway, let's continue to send this, let's send this new recon into the center, because we need more vision in the center. Let's just proceed to take both of these bases right here. I'm probably just going to start to capture some of these outlying cities right here now, because I need to bolster my income. You might be wondering why I'm moving past these cities. That's because I want these lucrative cities over here much more than I want the cities over here. Because these cities are not contested, I can get them. But if MrEntinen has units over here, I want to grab these cities before he can come and take them. So, now I will build an artillery. Now, artillery aren't super good on this map, but I think if I can get like an artillery either on this forest tile or maybe on this forest tile right here, it will cover this area right here, which will be very good for me. I also finished capturing this city right here, so I'm just going to grab both of these cities. I'm not sure if I'm going to be building much on this base. I might, because I can build things in this base to attack these 2 bases right here. But again, if I can interrupt this capping with my recon, then MrEntinen is going to be in some serious trouble. So yeah, let's end the turn. Okay, day 8 is rolling in, and look at that! Look at that! He has started to capture properties. Now, I kind of question why he's capturing this base over this, or this city over this base, but I am not going to, I'm not going to look a gift horse in the mount, which is, by the way, it's a stupid thing to say. Like, what does it even mean to look a gift horse in the mount? Like, what the fuck? Anyway, I'm going to interrupt this cap right now. Now, he got this base, which is kind of annoying, because now he can build a tank here, and that zones away my recon, but I will be able to do damage to this guy, and I will be able to do damage to this guy, so... Or maybe I'll just pull the recon back, I actually don't know yet. What I need to do now is I need to locate MrEntinen's tank. I know he has a tank here. He does not. Alright. Where the fuck is his tank? That's actually kind of annoying. I had hoped that there would be a tank here somewhere that I could attack with my tank. But I guess not. Okay. Right, so I think what I'm going to do now is I'm going to go and I'm going to grab this city right here. This is a good city to have. Probably nice to get that before MrEntinen can get his hands on it. I think I'm going to build a mech. Mechs are pretty strong in this region. If he has a tank here, I can take it down with the mech from the mountains. And then I think I'm just going to go ahead and capture this city right here. And we need to find a proper position for this artillery to be placed in. Like, there's not much forest in the middle here, but it might do well in this forest tile right here, because then it can cover this area right here, which undoubtedly Entinen will move into at some points. Now I need to think about what I should do with this infantry. I can either capture this base, but that will most likely get interrupted, or I can attempt to capture this city, which I think is probably more feasible. There's no point in trying to capture this base unless I got multiple infantry here, because you want to do something called joint cap. I can shoot down his APC. I'm just afraid that if I move my tank into this area, he's going to have some tank here that is just going to get the first strike on me, and that's going to ruin things for my tank. So I think I will just... You know what? I'm actually going to place my tank... Okay. Interesting. Did not expect him to have a recon here. Shit. Oh, no. That's really bad. Oh, shit. No. Crap. I did not expect that. Alright, anyway, I'm going to build another infantry here. And then I'm going to build a mech here. Okay, did not expect him to have a recon in this forest. That's a trap. That's a big trap. That's on the turn. Okay, so... yeah, that's really bad, by the way. That is actually terrible. Yeah, that's actually awful. I really screwed up. So yeah, now he got to attack my tank with his tank, and I'm in trouble. I'm actually in big trouble right now. He also built a tank right here to zone my recon away. That's fine, I'm going to move it back. Now, if I move it here, he can still spot it. But I also want to move it away from the range of this tank, preferably. Or, what I also can do is I can sack my recon to interrupt this, to interrupt this infantry. That will get my recon destroyed, but it will also delay his tank for a turn. Now, if you don't know, in 13 days, whoever has the most properties captured will win. As you can see the properties down in the down right, or the bottom right corner. He has 11 properties, I have 10. So, I think I'm actually going to be smart here, or I'm going to attempt something. I'm going to interrupt this. It's going to delay it for a turn. And it's also going to delay his tank for a single turn. So it gets me some initiative, essentially. Meanwhile, I'm gonna move my infantry up here. Maybe I can take this tank, city right here. That'd be kind of interesting. Now, I don't think I will be able to get this city. I honestly do not think I'll be able to get this city. Now, I need to be very careful here about MrEntinen's recons. They can easily take down my artillery. However, I should be able to bring a mech into the center very soon. I think I'm actually just gonna... Oh, you gotta be fucking shitting me. That's the second time I get trapped. Alright. That's awful. So, right now, he can attack my artillery with his recon if he wants to. So, what I'm actually gonna do here is I'm gonna move over here. Now, I'm probably gonna lose this tank. But I need to kill MrEntinen's recon, or else his recon will kill my artillery. So I'm actually just gonna move my recon back there. Wow, that's the second time I get trapped by MrEntinen. I'm a bit salty right now, to be completely honest. Anyway, let us build an infantry here, and let's also build an infantry down here. So this is a bad situation for me, if I'm going to be completely honest. I'm going to lose my tank, and if MrEntinen is smart, he's going to move his recon down to attack my artillery. Now, if he does that, then I got my tank to punish him if he attacks from the south. But if he's smart, what he's going to do is he's going to kill this recon, if he can do so, and then attack from the left or from the western flank, and my tank will not be within range to reach him. Although, I might have my power next turn. This is why Adder's so good. Anyway, I'm very interested in seeing what MrEntinen does on his next turn. Okay, day 10. Let's see what's going on here. So I got my power. Okay, this is good actually. This allows me to kill MrEntinen's recon. So in Advanced Wars, you pretty much always want to use your little power whenever you can, especially on smaller maps. If you don't know, the smaller power gives your units a passive 10% defense increase, which is usually very good. But the extra movement is also really nice, so let us see how this will pan out. I don't actually need to do this, I don't need it, but it allows me to attack from the forest if I want to. But I don't think I want to, it doesn't really matter. Like, I gain nothing from attacking from the forest, I think I would rather stay on the road. Actually, come to think of it, it's not like I lose anything from being on the forest, unless he has put something in the forest. And I don't want to get trapped again, so maybe I shouldn't. No, I'm just gonna do this. So there we go, 85 damage. Now, you can also use infantry to kill weakened recons. Don't underestimate the power of infantry. They can do like 1 to 2 hit points of damage to machines. So I'm going to put my artillery into this forest, so at least it covers this tile right here. It's on 6 health, which is not ideal, but it's the best I can get for now. Now I do need to stop MrEntinen from taking this base. Oh, I was really lucky I didn't get trapped there. That could have gone horribly. So I'm going to do some damage to this infantry. And capture this building as well. Now, thanks to my power, I can actually do some damage to this APC. Killing APCs is actually pretty valuable. You should definitely do it when you have the chance, because they're very good. They can be used to scout, they can be used to block, and he might have an infantry in here as well. It looks like he was trying to ferry an infantry over to the city right here. What I can also do now, thanks to my power, is I can capture the city, unless there might be something there, though. So I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to pull my tank back, just to see that there's nothing there, and then I'm going to grab this city. Now what I can do now, this recon will actually survive. Now I need to check whether or not MrEntinen has vision, so 1, 2, 3. He does not have vision of this city, unless he has a recon here. And in that case, he can interrupt it with his tank. But what I'm actually going to do now is I'm actually going to pull my recon back, and I'm going to use it primarily to scout. Meanwhile, I'm going to send this infantry over here. He can move over the mountains next turn and end up here if I want him to. Meanwhile, let's send this... what I can do, actually, is I can send a mech into this forest tile right here to keep it safe. Or, what I can also do is I can put a... I can put a mech over here, and what's great about that is that this artillery essentially covers this mech. So if he tries to attack this mech, I will shoot whatever attacks the mech with my artillery next turn. Now, of course, the artillery is a little bit reduced in firepower, but it still does its job pretty well. Now I need to think about what I want here. So, I think... he's building some mechs. Obviously, mechs are pretty powerful in that situation. So I need to think about what I should build back. Building tanks here is not going to be wise when he has mechs in the area, although I can avoid the mechs if I want to. Though he is Adder and gets extra move. He will use it on the next turn by the looks of things. So what should I do? What should I do? I think some recons to help interrupt the capping wouldn't be the worst thing in the world. Another infantry here. Possibly a tank? You know what? I'm actually going to build a tank, because I need some fast units to get into the center. And this area right here is closer to the action that I want them to be in. So let's see how this goes. MrEntinen, I actually have 2 more cities than him right now, which is pretty good, but I cannot let him take the space. If he takes the space, it's game over for me. It's literally game over for me, so I cannot let him do that. Yeah, anyway, let's end the turn. Okay, so we can hear that MrEntinen just used his power, and whoops. Okay, that's scary. So he has basically shut down my artillery at this point. He's also moving some mechs across the mountains to try and take down my infantry. But I have a city here, so he's not going to be able to do that. The city is a really good vantage point for me to defend myself from. So this assault will pretty much do nothing unless he has some artillery or tank support. So I'm just going to capture these cities right now. So I am at 17, he is at 15. So if I can just prevent him from taking the cities in the middle, then I should be pretty good. But it looks like he's absolutely going to take the city away from me, though. There's very little I can do about that, unless I do this. So pretty much, I'm going to force him to spend this tank to interrupt this Cap right now, if he wants to do anything. So I am just going to be doing... I'm just going to actually be placing this infantry. No, I want to place it here. Now what I can do is I can place this tank in this forest. That way, there's a small chance he might trap himself. Always think about that. Always think about potential ways to trap your opponent. If you can trap your opponent, then that is usually a victory. So I have a mech right here in range of his tank. This is usually really good. Whenever you can attack a tank with a mech, you should usually do it. The problem is that I need to interrupt this Cap. If I don't do that, I'm dead. So I'm going to... I could use my tank to interrupt this Cap. But if he has another tank, then this tank will die. So I think I'm actually just going to use this infantry to scout. Okay, so we know that there's nothing here. As I thought, there's a tank here. Now I need to seriously prioritize what I'm going to do. So he has a 10% defense boost. If I don't interrupt this Cap, then I'm going to be in trouble. But at the same time, if I move my tank in here, I'm just going to lose my tank. This is actually really bad. Is he seriously going to get both of them? This is not great. This is not great at all. If I allow him to get these properties in the middle, I am going to be in a world of pain. But at the same time, if I ignore these tanks, I am also going to be in a world of pain. So I need to check that there's no... Yeah, I need to check that he didn't place any units here. Alright. I can't interrupt this unless I use both my tank and my mech. And if I do that, he has 2 tanks that can wipe me out. So I think what I need to do here is I need to do this. Like so. And then there's no... Yeah, he's actually going to get both of these cities, which is terrible for me. Which is absolutely terrible for me. But I might be able to make it up by maybe... Oh, he's built an artillery here. Okay, so he did send artillery support. So now I need to think. Do I want to send my recon over here to try and take down this artillery? I think the tank might be doing a better job at this. But I need to be careful here because he has essentially in the vision... In the mountains, you get extra vision range. 3 extra vision range, so that's 5 vision. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. He can see almost over to this base. So if I move this tank over here, he will see it, and he will place some sort of mech in range to block me from attacking him. So I actually need to send my tank down here. That's actually the only thing I can do right now. I do need to send... I do need to keep my tank out of range of this one. Now he has his power. Keep this in mind. So usually it can only move over here. So my recon will actually be completely safe from this vantage point right here. But I think I just need to focus really hard on the center. I think it's probably just time for me to build tanks. Because I need firepower in the center right now. Now, it seems like MrEntinen has focused a lot on the center. And he's kind of not build a lot of stuff elsewhere. So, of course, what I can do is I can attempt to apply a little bit of pressure on this area right here. Because I gotta prevent him from taking this base. But he's gonna go up to 17 next turn. Which is really bad for me. So I gotta be able to take this area back somehow. It's gonna be pretty tough to do, if I'm gonna be completely honest. I don't know what I'm gonna do with this APC. It needs to refuel, but not quite yet. But I guess what I can do is I can place the APC sort of like as bait, maybe. Maybe like try to draw it out somehow. This artillery will probably die at some point. There's not much I can do about it. But I guess what I can do is if I place the APC right here, then I can move this infantry into the APC and ferry it into the center on the next turn. So that will probably work out. Also, I might as well place the artillery here at this point. I mean, he's probably going to attack it no matter what I do. So I might as well just put it in a location that's a bit more inconvenient for him. So yeah, let's end the turn. Okay, day 12. What the actual fuck? Huh? Why on earth did he not interrupt my city? Okay, that's another property for me. That's a big... Maybe he felt that since he got these two properties in the middle here, he doesn't need to interrupt it, but that's still a big mistake on his part. He should have interrupted this. Still, it's gonna be a tricky game for me now because he has the two cities in the middle. And once a city has been taken in Advanced Wars, it's very hard to get it back. Now, I'm going to do what I can with this artillery, which isn't much now. He is really pushing hard right here now. He just built a rocket, so I need to pull back if I don't want to lose units. Rocket here is a pretty good investment, but he is taking a lot of pressure off the middle. I'm guessing he built the rocket because he's like, I'm going to win this anyway. Which is a bit of a mistake, if I'm going to say so, because... I think he's gonna lose a lot of momentum in the middle by having, like, what can this thing feasibly do? Like, he can move it over here and he can start threatening this area, but I'm just gonna move away from it. He does have a lot of he does have a lot of mechs though, which is kind of scary. So what I'm gonna do now is I'm going to, first and foremost, I'm going to see if I can kill this thing. I cannot. I can bring it down to like 1 health. There we go. He doesn't actually have a lot in the middle. He's building a lot of mechs though, which is sort of scary. So I need to be on the lookout for that. Now I'm gonna check, when will he get his power? Probably not next turn. So that means that I can safely, if I want to, I can attack from the plains. Like so. So that's a good attack for me. Now I do need to move my infantry up here because I need to reinforce the city. He's going to attack the city, so I need to reinforce it or else he's going to take it away from me. Now I can, it's too bad I can't capture this base on this turn. But there's not really that much I can do anyway, so I am just going to be content with killing this 1 hit point infantry, and then I can also get the first strike with this tank right here. So that's really good for me. Now this mech is pretty much just going to be annoying right now, so I'm just going to put it on the city to give him something to shoot at. If you want to spend a unit trying to bring this mech down, then that's fine with me. Now this tank, I'm going to use the scout, see if there's anything in these forests. Not so far. Alright, so I know that he doesn't have units in this forest. Like, with low hit point unit, you nearly always want to scout to see if there's anything you can get. Now, I hate the fact that he has these two bases, but I'm just gonna have to deal with it. I still actually have more properties than him, funnily enough. So, what I need to make sure I do now is I need to make sure I do not lose the city. So, what I can do is I can send a tank over here, but the chances of him just having a unit here and blocking me off is pretty high, so I'm not going to do that. I also need to make sure he does not get to kill... Like, he does actually have a lot of mechs in the mountains, which is scary for me. So it pretty much means that I can't really utilize my tanks around his, around the mountains. So... It's too bad this artillery is not in full health, because if it was, I could just zone the city, which would have been pretty easy. He's definitely going to move his rocket over here next turn, or possibly here. I need to maintain vision here. I need to maintain vision, so I might need to build a recon. I need to pull back here, though, because he's going to murder me with these mechs if I'm not careful. I guess I could do this. And then what I could do, potentially, is I could try to, I don't know, attack his mech or something. It's not really going to work, though. That's the problem I have. It's not really going to work. No, it kind of sucks, but I'm going to have to do this now. I'm just going to make sure he doesn't get his power. Oh, shit, he has his power. So he's going to have 1 extra movement range, which is pretty bad for me. So that means if I place my tank here, he's going to get attacked. So I'm going to have to place the tank here, which is not great, but it's what I'm going to have to do. And I am guessing just recons to interrupt caps. And some more infantry. More infantries are coming over the mountain though, so that's good. But I need to focus, like, since he's focusing on the northern part of the map, I need to focus on the middle part of the map. That's how I'm going to win this. That is pretty much how I'm going to win this. But I need some more fast units. I need some more recons, and preferably another infantry as well. What's my income right now? 18,000, so I'm gonna have roughly 19,000 next turn. So it's going to be interesting to see what he does. But he does have that extra point of movement, which is really bad, because that means he can attack my tank with his recon. I should have manipulated his power better. That's actually terrible for me. It means I'm going to get my power next turn, though. Also, he can attack this rocket, or he can attack this mech with his rocket. But if he does that, he can't move the rocket. So that might be a small victory for me as well. Either way, this battle is going to be really hard to win. Okay. Day 13. There are currently 9 days left. And as I thought, he is going for the city. He's built a motherfucking medium tank. That's pretty bad. I'm gonna be completely honest. I may have screwed up. Because now, okay, so the problem with a medium tank is that the only way to really combat a medium tank is a medium tank. Unless you can get a rocket into position, which I can't. So, that's actually a really good move by him. I'm gonna have to do whatever I can to interrupt this Cap right now. Which I have done, so I don't need to commit anymore to that. At least not until next turn. So he's probably gonna get that from me, which is pretty bad. Now, I am probably going to... I need to get this city somehow. That's what I need to do. Also, I need to defend this city. So I'm going to move my infantry over here, and I'm going to attack his full hit point infantry, possibly? I don't know. Yeah, I'm gonna have to do some damage to this guy. That's gonna be really important for me to do. I need to be really, really effective with my units right now, because I'm fighting at a huge disadvantage. I need to... I mean, I'm not sure if I can do anything about these 3 mechs right here. It's gonna be really difficult for me to do. But what I can do is I can take out his tank. And then, since I have 1 extra move, I can also use my infantry to attack his mech. Using infantry to attack mech is usually pretty cost effective. So it's something you definitely want to do whenever you got the chance to do it. And I'm also going to remove his mech right here. So now his mech has no more presence. I can keep this in. I can attack this infantry from the mountains, which will be pretty effective. And then I can leave my tank here. Now I want to leave it in the forest just in case he has built a tank here or something. But what I need to do now is I need to get out and answer that, because that medium tank is going to rampage around unchecked. There's going to be very little I can do about it. So I need to do something about it, and I need to do something quick, because it's going to zone me out of existence pretty much, which is going to be pretty awful for me. Now, I can probably attack this mech right here with my infantry. Probably the smartest course of action. And then I need to get this APC either back to get refueled or somewhere else. Put it down here. Like, it has... How much fuel left? It has 6 fuel left. So if I don't get it onto a city, it's going to become useless. So I need to do something about it, and I need to do something about it quick. Now, I didn't actually see where he moved his rocket, which is pretty bad for me. Oh, that was a mistake. I did not intend to do that. Oh, well. Not a lot I can do about that right now. So, good thing about medium tanks, they only got 1 vision. So, of course, the mechs are providing him with a vision aplenty. So, no matter what I do right here, I'm actually fucked. Because I can't... This tank is just being zoned out, because these mechs are just fucking more... If I move it down here, the medium tank's gonna murder my tank. But maybe that's just what I have to do. He also has a tank in the forest right there. So, I need to move my recon into the center. Yeah, I just gotta build a medium tank myself. It's the only way I can kill his medium tank, and it's not gonna be there until several days, so... That's actually really bad for me. And I'm actually going to attack his infantry because I want to see... Okay, so he didn't move his rocket, which means that his rocket is still here. Also, a little tip. If you press this button, you can see without units if you just want to watch the terrain. But yeah, this is a tricky battle, to say the least. Currently, we are 18-18, but if this continues, he's definitely going to take the city from me. There's not much I can do about that. Alright, let's end the turn. Okay. Day 14. MrEntinen just said that he misclicked, so I don't know what he meant by that. Guess we're about to find out. So he has 1 extra building right now. And if I'm not careful, he's going to take this as well. Now, I might actually be able to interrupt this. I thought I maybe wouldn't. But I think I might just... Yes, I was actually able to interrupt that. So that's actually pretty good. So now I know that his rocket is here. And also his medium tank is currently making my life very difficult. If I can somehow make him go down into range of my medium tank, that would be great for me. The problem right now is, of course, he has these 2 bases that is just going to keep pumping out units, and it's going to give him a massive advantage, unless I can do something about it. So, first things first, I think I need to kill this tank. And then I also need to kill this APC, because if I don't kill this APC, he's going to see what's coming. I don't want him to see that I have a medium tank. Now, a medium tank is powerful, but it can only attack 1 unit at a time, so if I just spread myself out, he's not going to be able to do anything. Now, what I can do is I can move my tanks down here, and I can start to attack him. Like, I can concede the middle, and what I can do is I can effectively start to attack him here instead. Which may not be such a terrible idea. Because if I can apply pressure here, I can start sending tank. I mean, I can even build a medium tank if I want to, but that's probably not a very smart idea. But I might be able to take some properties off him, and that will force him to essentially move his units away from the middle, where I can go back and cause some trouble. So again, I'm going to keep my recon around here. And I'm just going to give him a mech to shoot at. He's probably going to do it. But I'm just going to keep building recons here, because there's mainly infantry in this area region, which recons are pretty good against. And then another recon, because I need more vision. And then I think I'm just going to build an infantry here. Well, this tank is in a pretty good position. I'm just going to keep it here so I can see what's coming. There's very few units coming from here, so he's probably not building anything in his main base. He's probably building everything in the center, which, you know, is pretty... It's what I pretty much expected. But if I can take this area away from him, then that's actually going to be huge for me. So I might just do that. We'll see if I can do it. That was my Facebook. My bad. Let's end the turn. Okay, this time I remember to close Facebook. Alright, day 15. Whew. Alright. Still only 18 to 19 properties. Now he built a medium tank here, so yeah, fuck that guy. The question is right now, will his medium tank be in range of my medium tank? That's what I need to know. So I'm going to move my recon over here. It's not. Not by the looks of things. Unless maybe he put it in the forest. Could be, could be. I definitely need to interrupt the city. I cannot let that stand, so I'm just going to do a side slip here. See if I can salvage the situation somewhat. So he just built a medium tank, which means that my attack on the south is probably not gonna happen unless I too build a medium tank. Looks like he is not gonna take this city, so that's pretty good. If I could take down this rocket, that would be so good for me, but I don't see a way for me to do that right now. He just uses power too. If I attack this tank, he's going to get first strike with his medium tank, so that's going to be terrible for me. Let's see if I can take down... Yeah, I need to move away here, because I will not be able to do anything. Now what I can do, like, here's the problem. I need to have this tank next to this forest tile to spot his tank. But what I can do is I can interrupt this, and then I can move my tank back here on the city. And then I don't really know what I can do here. I mean, attacking this is not going to be beneficial to me at all. So maybe it's just better if I... I guess what I can do is I can... Is there anything here? No, there's nothing here. So what I can join them together if I want. He's not going to be able to see them, because this thing is 3 vision. So what I could do is I could move up here and then join these two together. Hell, I could even do this to create a fresh tank. It's going to cost me some vision. But at the same time, he actually has an infantry in my mountains. That's awful. Right. This rocket is completely zoning me out of existence. Which is really annoying. Now, I need to be careful here, because I need to make sure his mech cannot attack my recon. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to put this infantry into the mountain. He probably has this medium tank either here or here. So I am probably just going to have to attack. I mean, it's not a terrible trade, all things considered. I mean, I took down his tank without taking any damage myself, which is pretty good. But now I need to be careful, because if I'm not careful here, he's actually going to take these properties away from me, because he's pushing really hard now. He's actually pushing really hard. So... But yeah, this is going to be a tricky fight to win. Let's end the turn. Okay, day 16. Let's see if we can make something happen here. Yeah, so there's this medium tank. I kind of suspected that would happen. So now I need to... Okay, so I need to fuck off from here. There's really nothing more I can do in this situation. I gotta get away from here. Now, here's the funny part. If I can somehow get my hands on this property right here, then I will actually be able to tie it at the very least. Now, I am kind of curious to see. I don't know if there's anyone in this forest. It would be ideal to attack this from the forest, but there's a chance I might get trapped, so I don't actually want to do that. I do need to prevent MrEntinen from taking the city, so no matter what I do, that kind of has to take top priority. So that's exactly what I'm going to do. I'm going to attack this guy. I'm going to attack the mech. Now I need to make sure, when will he get his power? He's 1 star away from it. It would be ideal if he didn't get his power, but we shall see how that will go. Now, This APC cannot do much, but I'm actually, at least I'm going to try to prevent this mech from attacking my... No, wait, that doesn't matter, because he can just move over the mountains. That's stupid. Anyway, I'm just going to attack his medium tank, and hopefully my medium tank will be in range next turn. Yeah, look at that. He's sneakily attempting to place a recon scout in the woods, so we need to take that down. Now, I need to use my tank right now to kill his infantry, and he built another fucking medium tank. That's just fucking fantastic. I have to, whatever it takes, I have to try and prevent this city from getting taken. So I need to build a medium tank myself right now if I want to have any chance of doing that. This is the problem. It's the problem I have with small maps is as soon as one player starts building medium tank, everyone has to build medium tanks. That's like one of the things that really annoy me about small maps. Like, he builds medium tanks, I build medium tanks. Anyway, that's on the turn. Alright, so I think this game is probably lost at this point. Yeah, I really don't see myself winning this. There's 5 days left, but there really is no way for me to win here. MrEntinen has kind of locked me down. He has medium tanks in the center. Advanced Wars is really a game, like, if one player gets the advantage, it's usually a game over. So I'm going to concede. MrEntinen beat me. He played really well. He's actually really good at Advanced Wars. So, yeah, I am going to challenge him again in the future. And I'll get my rematch for sure. So, fuck you, MrEntinen. Fuck you, hard mode. Like and comment. Goodbye.